All right, welcome on into this episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bringing you the first council shoulder patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. Today we're going to take a look at Greater Cleveland 440 out of Ohio, which originally formed in 1929 as a name change from Cleveland 440 and lasted up until 2017 when it merged with several other councils to form Lake Erie. All right, we've got two variations of the first issue. Here on the patch table, we've got the S1A to begin with the light green border, bright orange sky, horizontally stitched sun, yellow fleur-de-lis, and light green letters. I know some people were commenting on an earlier video that they thought the Utah National Parks was a very jarring patch. This one might give it a run for its money with the green, orange, purple, and yellow. There's a little bit of blue here on the buildings as well, but quite the stark, like all high contrast colors. I tend to think these patches stick out. I really find them super intriguing, but I can see where some people might find them to be a bit jarring. The differentiation between the S1A and S1B is primarily going to be the stitching for the sun. So you can see this is horizontally stitched. That's going to define it as an S1A. Take a look at the back. This one happens to be a cloth back. It does list in the collecting guide that there is a range of color for the fleur-de-lis as well as the lock stitch on the back. Here we happen to see some dark green lock stitching. So there were obviously multiple production runs here for the S1A. And then when we get to the S1B, essentially it's just a later production. We now move most specifically to vertical stitching for the sun. That is going to be the primary difference. It also just looks kind of like a cleaner patch. It's a later production style. So production methods have improved. Stitching's a little tighter. It just looks a little cleaner. We'll have them head to head here in a second. We've got light green border, bright orange sky, vertically stitched sun, dull yellow fleur-de-lis, light green letters. It says a range in height and width for the patch. So there were multiple production runs here as well. For the S1B, this one happens to be plastic backed. Let's see if we can get both these up here on screen. Mostly. But as you can see, just comparing the two, we just kind of get a tighter machine stitching on the S1B, and everything just looks a little looser, maybe a little older style production method on the S1A. But primary difference again being horizontally stitched sun for the S1A, vertically stitched sun for the S1B. Again, I like these patches that kind of stand out using high contrast colors, but I can see where some people, it might not be their favorite. With that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Have another new episode out for you tomorrow. If you haven't seen some of our previous episodes, feel free to click on the channel, go back and check through the catalog. And again, we'll continue on until we've been able to bring you the first issue from every council that has produced a CSP. And again, we generally try and include those for pre-CSPs from the 1950s and 60s that collectors generally consider to be a part of a first collection. So we'll be able to share those with you on the channel as well. With that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for stopping in and watching the video, and we'll catch you on the next episode tomorrow.